Greetings to all. Welcome back to online classes. Today we are going to learn lesson 7, that is state and society in medieval India. State and society in medieval India. The medieval period is from 7th century CE, that is Common Era, to 16th century. Okay, 7th century to 16th century, that is till the beginning of the Mughal rule in 16th century. Till the beginning of the Mughal rule in 16th century. From 16th century to 18th century, that is 16th to 18th century, is referred as early modern period. Early modern period. During this time, important and definite political changes occurred. Important and definite political changes occurred in almost all the parts of our country, India. Almost all the parts of our country, India. These changes transformed social and economic conditions, social and economic conditions, and development of the country. Okay, development of the country. Now we will see major political changes. Okay, major political changes. From the time of Rajaraja I, the Chola Empire started to expand. Okay, Chola Empire started to expand from the time of Rajaraja I. This expansion destroyed the Pandyan as well as the Pallava kingdoms. Pandyan kingdoms were destroyed and the Pallava kingdoms also destroyed. The Chola Empire expanded till Orissa in the north. Okay, expanded till Orissa in the north. From 12th century, the Muslim rule started in Delhi. Okay, from 12th century onwards, Muslim rule started in Delhi and it extended throughout North India. Throughout North India, Islam spread in different parts of our country, India. Okay, Islam spread in different parts of our country, India. Okay. By the end of 13th century, the Chola Empire began to decline. That is, entered maybe. Okay. So in South India, many religious kingdoms started. Many religious kingdoms started. Finally, Vijayanagar Empire exercised its authority all over South India. It is considered as the best, that is the 1/4 of religious rule in South. Okay, religious rule in the South. In 1526, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi. This is known as the first battle of Panipat. This is known as what? The first battle of Panipat. The war was started in between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi in the year 1526. In this war, Ibrahim Lodi was defeated and Babur got a spectacular victory. Okay. After this battle, that is after the first battle of Panipat, the consolidation of the Muslim rule started. Consolidation of Muslim rule started under the Mughals in the north. Under the Mughals in the north. The Mughal Empire spread from Kabul to Gujarat, Gujarat to Bengal, and from Kashmir to South India. Kashmir to South India. In 1498 CE, Portuguese arrived on the west coast of India. Following that, the Europeans began to come to our soil. Okay. First of all, 1498, Portuguese arrived on the west coast of India. Following that, Portuguese, the Europeans began to come to our Indian soil. Next, we will see in North India, the advent of Islam. Okay, North India, the advent of Islam. At the end of 12th century, Muhammad Ghori established Muslim rule in Delhi. At the end of 12th century, Muhammad Ghori established Muslim rule in Delhi. In the 9th century BC, the Arab Muslim merchants had been trading in the ports of West Coast. Okay, in the ports of West Coast, particularly Kerala, From 8th century onwards, Muslim invaders from West Asia had set up sultanates in Gujarat and Sindh. Gujarat and Sindh. During the rule of Alauddin Khilji, the impact of Arab rule was felt. Alauddin sent military campaigns to the south. The primary objective was to plunder the wealth rather than to expand his territory. Okay, his main aim was to plunder the wealth rather than to expand his territory. Devagiri was captured by Alauddin Khilji and renamed it Dauladabad. Okay, captured, which one? Devagiri was captured by Alauddin Khilji and it was renamed Dauladabad. Dauladabad was considered as the second stronghold of his kingdom. Second stronghold of his kingdom. Okay. Alauddin's slave and commander was Malik Kafur. Okay, Malik Kafur was the slave and the commander of Alauddin Khilji. Under the leadership of Malik Kafur, military expeditions in the south was started. Military expeditions in the south was started. After Alauddin Khilji, Tughlaqs came. Okay, Tughlaq dynasty came. The Tughlaqs also sent their armies to the south. So the isolated southern part of the country came into the orbit of the rulers in the north. Okay, so the country came into, that is isolated southern part of the country came into the orbit of the rulers of the north. In the Deccan region, governors were appointed in various provinces. Deccan region, governors were appointed in various provinces. A sultanate was also established in Madurai. In Madurai, sultanate was also established. During the rule of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, there was a revolt in Dauladabad. Okay, revolt in Dauladabad. Alauddin Bahman Shah set up the Bahmani Sultanate in 1347 CE. 1347 CE. His capital was Bidar. His capital was Bidar. The Bahmani kingdom survived for nearly 150 years. 150 years because of the able administrator of Muhammad Gawan. Okay, because of the able administration of Muhammad Gawan, the Bahmani kingdom survived for 150 years. Muhammad Gawan was a great statesman and loyal minister. Okay, statesman and also loyal minister, that Muhammad Gawan. After his death, many viceroys declared their independence. Many viceroys declared their independence. By the end of 15th century, okay, by the end of 15th century, 5 states came up in Deccan. 5 states came up in Deccan. Bijapur, Golconda, Ahmednagar, Berar and Bidar. Okay, Bijapur, Golconda, Ahmednagar, Berar and Bidar. Bijapur and Golconda were the largest of these sultanates. Among the five, Bijapur and Golconda were the largest. Okay, considerable economic growth was there and trade also developed in Bijapur and Golconda very nicely. Okay, in 1660s CE, the Deccan Sultanate were captured by Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was also a Muslim ruler. So in 1660s CE, the Deccan Sultanate was captured by Aurangzeb. The entire region, including Chennai, okay, the entire region, including Chennai, became a part of Mughal Empire. Became a part of Mughal Empire. Okay. Next, we will see the Chola Empire in the south. Okay, Chola Empire in the south. The territorial expansion of the Chola Empire started under Rajaraja I. That is, under the Rajaraja I, the territories were expanded. Okay, territories were expanded. The Pallava kingdom was already joined into the Chola kingdom. Already Pallava kingdom was joined into the Chola kingdom. The Pandya kingdom remained independent, but it was under the control of the Cholas only. Okay, it was under the control of the Cholas only. The Chola Empire further expanded under the leadership of Rajendra I. Okay, Raja first it was expanded. The second expansion was there during the time of Rajendra I. He took his armies successfully up to river Ganga. Understand? Up to river Ganga. He sent naval expeditions against the Sailendra kingdom of Sri Vijaya, Kadaram and Ceylon. Okay, Sri Vijaya, Kadaram and Ceylon. He already captured this Gangai nearby that regions and Kadaram. So he earned the title Gangayum Kadaramum Konda Cholan. Tamil words. Okay, Gangayum Kadaramum Konda Cholan. For a few decades, Ceylon became a province of this Chola Empire. For few decades, Ceylon became the province of the Chola Empire. The empire was further consolidated through marriage with the Eastern Chalukyas, okay, through marriage with the Eastern Chalukyas under Kulothunga Chola first, okay, under Kulothunga Chola first. The empire was extended up to the border of Orissa, okay, up to the border of Orissa, the Chola empire was expanded. During the Chola period, maritime trade with Southeast Asia and China expanded greatly. So, maritime trade was there, the Southeast Asia and also China. Because of the continued interaction with the Tamil merchants, Indian culture and art spread into Southeast Asia. Okay, Indian culture as well as art spread into Southeast Asia. We can see that the magnificent temples of Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Okay, Angkor Wat temple in Cambodia. Okay, next one, Vijayanagar and South India after Cholas. Vijayanagar and South India after Cholas. After the middle of 13th century, the Chola Empire began to decline. Okay, the Chola Empire began to decline. The last Chola emperor was Rajendra III. Okay, Rajendra III. After him, the Chola Empire came to an end in 1279 CE. In 1279 CE, several power centers came up. Okay, after the end of that Chola Empire, several power centers came up. The Pandya kings tried to regain the glory. Okay, the Pandya people or Pandya kings tried to regain their glory that they had lost under the Cholas. Okay, that they had lost under Cholas. They are trying to regain that one. Okay, regain the glory. Many brilliant Pandya kings like Jadavarma Sundara Pandyan. Okay, many brilliant kings like Jadavarma Sundara Pandyan ruled at the end of 13th century. Jadavarma Sundara Pandyan ruled at the end of 13th century. Further to the north was the Hoysala kingdom. North was the Hoysala kingdom. Their capital was Belur. Their capital was Belur. Later, Halabit was their capital. Okay, Halabit was their capital. That's the capital of Hoysalas. This kingdom extended up to present day Karnataka. Okay, this kingdom extended up to present day Karnataka. The Kakkadiyas means one set of people only. Okay, one dynasty we can say. The Kakkadiyas ruled from Warangal. Okay, we can say Kakkadiyas of Warangal. Now Yadavas ruled in Devagiri. Yadavas of Devagiri. Until Devagiri was captured by Alauddin Khilji, this Devagiri was ruled by Yadavas. That is also a dynasty, we can say, set of people. No peaceful cooperation was there. Okay, no peaceful cooperation was there. Many internal wars and conflicts were faced by these states. Okay, internal wars as well as conflicts were faced by these people. The establishment of Vijayanagar kingdom was the momentous development in the history of South India. Okay, tremendous development in the history of South India was the establishment of Vijayanagar kingdom. That is in the medieval period. Vijayanagar kingdom was established in the medieval period. Vijayanagar kingdom was established by two people, brothers Harihara and Bukka. So the two brothers Harihara and Bukka established Vijayanagar kingdom. Harihara and Bukka who founded this Vijayanagar Empire with the first rulers of this Sankama dynasty. First rulers of the Sankama dynasty. They founded a new capital city on the southern banks of river Tungabhadra. Okay, southern banks of river Tungabhadra. They founded the new capital city. They named that capital city as Vijayanagar. Okay, they named the capital city as Vijayanagar. Vijayanagara means city of victory. Vijayanagara means city of victory. Okay. In 1336, Harihara became the king. Okay. Harihara became the king of this Vijayanagar kingdom. The Sangama dynasty ruled Vijayanagar for nearly 150 years. Okay. Nearly 150 years the Sangama dynasty ruled Vijayanagar. Then this is Saluva dynasty came. Saluva dynasty came. They ruled for a short period only. They ruled the Vijayanagar kingdom for a short period only. Then after this Saluva dynasty, Tuluva dynasty came. Okay, Tuluva dynasty came. Krishna Deva Raya, the greatest ruler of Vijayanagar, belonged to Tuluva dynasty. Okay, Krishna Deva Raya, he was the greatest ruler of this Vijayanagar and belonged to which dynasty? This Tuluva dynasty. When the empire expanded, the Hoysalas and the Tamil regions joined with Vijayanagar. That is, when the Vijayanagar empire was expanded, the Hoysalas, okay, and another people, that is Tamil regions, joined with this Vijayanagar kingdom. The rulers of Vijayanagar made the continuous war with the Bahmani Sultanate. Vijayanagar kings made a continuous war with the Bahmani Sultanate and the religious based kingdoms of Kondavidu and Orissa. Okay, a king continuous war with the Bahmani Sultanate and the religious based kingdoms of Kondavidu and Orissa. Finally, the combined forces, the joined forces, okay, combined forces of the five Deccan sultanates defeated Vijayanagar. Okay, defeat the combined forces of five Deccan sultanates defeated Vijayanagar in 1565 at the Battle of Talikota. Okay, at the Battle of Talikota. So, Battle of Talikota year 1565. Okay, wow. Then the Vijayanagar emperors changed their capital, that is, shifted their capital to Penugonda. Okay, Penugonda. Finally, they changed their capital to Chandragiri. Okay, finally, they changed their capital to Chandragiri. Chandragiri was located near Tirupati, that is near Tirupati. Okay, in the middle of 17th century. In the middle of 17th century, Vijayanagar Empire fell down completely. It was collapsed. Okay, next we will see the Mughals. Okay, we will see the Mughals. The Mughal Empire was founded by Babur in 1526 AD. Okay, 1526 AD. That is after the Battle of Panipat. After the first Battle of Panipat. You know, first Battle of Panipat, that is in 1526 between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. In this battle, Ibrahim Lodi was defeated. Okay, after that battle only, after the first Battle of Panipat only, the Mughal Emperor Babur founded this empire, which empire? Mughal Empire. The first six Mughal emperors are referred as Great Mughals. Okay, first six Mughal emperors are referred as Great Mughals. Aurangzeb was the last of the Great Mughals. He was the sixth one maybe. Okay, Akbar consolidated the Mughal Empire through conquest. He waged war against many countries and captured almost all the areas, and he was thinking that when he want to consolidate his empire, okay, after the conquest. And he followed the policy of conciliation, that is friendship. Followed the policy of conciliation with the Rajasthan kingdoms, okay, with the Rajasthan kingdoms. So the Mughal Empire began to disintegrate, okay. Then the Mughal Empire began to disintegrate. In the 17th century, a new power center rose in Maharashtra, okay. A new power center rose in Maharashtra under the leadership of Chhatrapati Shivaji, Maratha Empire, okay, Chhatrapati Shivaji. They undermined the authority of the Mughals in Western India. They undermined the authority of the Mughals in Western India. At its height, the Mughal Empire spread over most of the Indian subcontinent. Okay, most of the Indian subcontinent, the maximum Mughal people were there. Mughal Empire was there. Okay, the southwestern region of Kerala, southwestern region of Kerala, and the southern Tamil Nadu. Okay, southwestern region of Kerala and southern Tamil Nadu were not directly ruled by the Mughals. They were not able to rule directly. Okay. Next we will see the arrival of the Europeans. Okay. That we will see in the next class. With this, I finish today's session. Okay. I'll meet you in the next session with the next heading. Okay, children. You should prepare all the one word answers and study thoroughly. Bye, children.